Hey, Leslie.
Hey, Michael, how you doing?
Good. How's it going?
It's going.
Yeah.
Could be a little warmer.
Yeah. I mean, it was nice that it was so clear out, but way too cold.
Yeah, the wind.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially the wind.
Hi.
Hi, Abigail, how you doing?
All right. How are you?
Good. Getting all ready?
Trying to mentally prepare myself.
Yeah.
The more you know what to expect, I think the scarier it is.
Yeah, I know. I had things with my third that the other two never had, and I was like, what is this?
Oh man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, it's a roller coaster.
Yep. You'll get through it.
Mm-hmm.
Family's yelling in the background. There's 4 of us on here, right?
Hi, Lynn.
Hello. We can call the meeting to order at 7:02. We need a motion to elevate any alternate. Do we have alternates today?
I don't think so.
No, it doesn't look like it. It's Diane and Julia, and they join us. Can I have a motion to accept the agenda?
Motion to accept the agenda.
And then a second, please.
Second,
Who is that?
that's
Kate?
Kate.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Acceptance of the minutes of February 22nd monthly meeting. You need a
I
motion, please?
apologize. I didn't read them.
Motion to accept the minutes from the previous meeting.
Thank you. Can I have a second, please?
Aye.
All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Any respondents, Leslie?
I don't have anything.
I don't think there's anybody but us here.
No, I
Who's
did.
iPhone?
That's Michael.
All
I
right.
did expect a parent to come to talk about the pre-K, but they're not on here, so
Okay, if they show up, come back.
yeah, we can always add them.
Okay. Director's report.
The only thing that I want to share with you, I think everything else is on here, but today I spoke to the first selectman and provided the Board of Selectmen with a letter letting them know that I will be leaving my position as Park and Rec Director effective April 2nd. So I went to them first because they are the hiring body, but I wanted to share that with you this evening.
Oh man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yep. But anyway, I'm not going to talk details or anything on a
Yeah.
public meeting, but if anybody wants to call me, I'd be happy to share more.
Which number?
I'm so sorry. And I mean, that's news.
Thank
Well, it's great luck, for sure.
Thank you.
Leslie, what's your phone number so we can call
Oh,
you?
sure. Yep. 860-488-4126.
Now, this is your home phone number?
That's my cell phone number. So, I mean, it's out
Okay.
there for the world, so I don't mind giving that.
Now everybody
Yeah.
has it.
You're
Yeah.
gonna have stalkers now.
No, that's all right. It's going to change eventually. So,
Are you
so
going-
I'm sure that the Board of Selectmen or the first selectman will be in touch with you.
With Lynn?
Yes.
Okay. So hang on a second. So Lynn, do you think you should add that to new business?
Probably.
Okay. Item D,
How do we do that, Leslie? Do we not need to go back and change our motion?
I guess you could just make a motion now to add 9D given,
amendment?
Yeah. Okay, John, you want to make that motion, please?
I'm sorry, hang on a second. I'm dealing with something else right here. Okay, 1 second. All right, yeah, I make a motion that we do a search for a Park and Rec director.
Well, right now, we're just going to add it to the 9D as new business.
Okay,
Discussion. What do you have down there, Leslie?
add item 9D, Park and Rec Director. I don't know,
search,
search replacement.
yeah, okay.
And I have John making the motion. We need a second.
It might be good to, but also maybe try to have some sort of exit interview so we could
Right,
hear your
Right.
take, Leslie, on how we've worked together and,
Yeah,
you know, where you looked for support, you just for us as a commission, so we know, you know, where our blind spots are for
You wanna-
whoever comes next.
yeah.
You
I-
wanna-
I don't think that has to be a public meeting. I don't know how we do that, but I think it would benefit us all.
you want to do that with the senior members of the Park and Rec only?
No,
Okay,
I don't think so.
all right.
I guess the only thing I would just say on all this is, I don't think Park and Rec should jump to do anything until you've talked to the Board of Selectmen.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
It's,
kind of what I was going to say.
yeah. So I don't know that you even need to add it to new business.
Well, we could keep it in there. I mean, it's just, I mean, the way it's set up is we have to have a park director, correct?
But we can't do anything till we talk to the selectmen, and hopefully somebody will reach out to me tomorrow. If not, I'll reach out to them and we'll have to set a
Exactly.
special meeting and discuss things
Okay,
after we have information from them, because like Leslie said, they are the hiring body. So it's really going to be up to them, I guess. They're the
yeah, but
hiring
they
body.
take forever
but-
to get, they take forever to hire somebody. All right,
I mean,
Well, again,
Dan,
know.
go ahead.
I know. It's a sad day. It's a sad day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Where did we leave off?
I'm kind of just blown away a little bit. Hang on.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
Sorry.
gonna take a moment
Right,
of
so-
silence. Catch our breath.
So do we keep Dion? Are we gonna wait till we talk to selectmen and we
Sure,
have
yeah,
more to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, you could always have another special, you could have a special meeting if need be.
Right,
So, but it's up to you.
It's your
Lynn-
motion, John.
It doesn't even have a second.
Well, how about, so we'll take that motion out. And we'll just await the announcement from the first selectman or the selectman's office.
I'll send out an email to
Yeah, I
everyone
would,
as soon as I hear what our next step is.
I mean, do you want to share, you want to get in on that together, since we're the two seniors here, or do you want to just do it yourself?
I'll start with a phone call.
Okay,
Unless you want to do I don't know.
Yeah, Lynn, I mean, as chairman, I think that's your role to,
right.
Yeah,
to reach out.
I'll reach out tomorrow and if they don't first, and we'll go from there.
Okay,
Everybody good with that? You have any other suggestion?
nope.
No, that works.
Okay. Alrighty then. Did you have
After
anything
school.
else in your director's report, or was that the end? I don't remember anything else.
The short story.
It was a very short story, wasn't it? I kept it that way. Just personal preference. So I could write a novel, but I wouldn't.
You should.
Yeah.
You really should.
Well, maybe I will.
All right, we'll move on to after-school program. Pre-K eligibility specifically.
Let me just first say that we've added another student today to the program. Sounds like he's going to be coming pretty often, so that's good.
How old?
First grade.
Okay,
They're all young, but they're pretty good.
so we're not doing the 3 to 5s, is that correct?
We left that up in the air at last meeting and said we'd come back and talk about it again tonight.
Okay. So
And
that's
that
open.
parent is not here
Yeah.
yet. So is that part of what that conversation would have been?
Yes, she's the parent that, initiated it, and I, updated her after the last meeting. And then, I said, come to the meeting, and your voice could be heard, you can speak, but,
Okay.
she didn't.
How about from Abigail? How do you feel, Abigail?
About what?
About 3 to 5-year-olds?
Well, I said that I thought it was best to table opening it up to a pre-K level until next year, just so we could know exactly what the implications are, since Lynn brought up some are potty trained and some are not, and it might just overcomplicate how we provide the service this year. And now, especially without Leslie, we have a dwindling staff with after school program already. So I'm very open to the idea, and I think it would be a worthwhile pursuit to see what it would take to offer it. And the more we can offer, the better. But I think trying to rush it to make it happen before the end of this school year is a little bit of too much of an ask.
Yeah, no,
But in the spirit of doing the questions that we had for making the decision about the land trust, I think it'd be great for us to call together the questions we have for this, so we can know what to look like, research, and help make our decision.
And keep it on the agenda. Okay, good.
Yeah.
And I'll reach out to that parent again and remind her, she could come to the next meetings. There's still time.
I just want to say thank you to everybody, or thanks to the Park and Rec for sending a card to me. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I
They
get
don't know. I just took care of it.
Okay,
Oh, John, I missed something.
yeah, while at work, I detached two of my 3 tendons from the back of my thigh.
Oof.
And
Ow.
they dropped 6 inches down, so the doctor had to go in and reattach them. He had to split them into 4 pieces,
Yuck.
and I'm attached to corkscrews. Not the kind that I like, but it'll have to do for now.
Yeah, right.
So
That's
I
awful.
get the staples and stitches out tomorrow. and I go in for therapy.
Okay.
Anybody
Sorry
else
to hear
have any
that,
bad
Tom.
news they want to throw at us right now before we go on?
Sorry?
Did anybody else have bad news they want to throw at us before we go
Well, it's
on?
not bad news. It's actually,
It's a good way to get a vacation.
well, I don't, yeah, it's the only thing is I'm always active, so it's not good for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that must have been super painful too.
Yeah, my body looked like a Z.
Ugh.
So sorry to hear that.
No, it's, I mean, it could have been worse. I could have hit my head. But yeah, it's good. No, thank you for the cards. I appreciate it, guys. I do. So go ahead. I'm sorry. I just to say
We've
thank
had
you.
someone join us.
Diane's supposed to be there.
Yes. Lyrian, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so we could go back. Lyrian is here. She is a parent of a student that's currently in the after-school program, and she is the person that reached out to me to ask about extending the after-school program to pre-K for next year. So Lyrian, I don't, if you want to share with the commission your reasoning or thinking or whatever, that would be helpful for them.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. My first grader is currently enrolled at KCS and does attend that ASP program 4 days a week. And I have a 4-year-old who just got an IEP for speech. And so he will be starting at Kent Center, but probably not in the preschool program because we both work, my husband and I, and we need, all day care. So Finn, the 4-year-old, he does qualify to start kindergarten next year. He does meet the cutoff and the age requirement to start in kindergarten. However, he just meets the cutoff by like a week. And so we feel as though it's going to be better for him to delay his entry into kindergarten until he's 5 years old. My question to Mrs. Ferris was, because he meets the age requirement for kindergarten, would he be able to attend ASP even though he would be enrolled at Kent Center School in the pre-K program? So that's it. That's what I'm wondering.
That's a good
So,
direction
yeah.
for our conversation to go in. So thank you for that.
yeah, it's something we've been discussing for the past few meetings. It's going to stay on the agenda. We, I believe, have decided that we're not opening after school program until for pre-K if we do decide to extend it until next year. But I think you're talking about next year for your son.
Well, listen, we would love to have him start at Kent Center School now, but it doesn't seem as though it's going to work out for our family needs because of the after-school program limitations. So I figured it was probably, my chances were very slim and you allowing him to attend this year, even though he would only attend when his brother was there. So I'm more asking about next year because, like I said, next year he does meet the age requirement for kindergarten. So, if he were going to be enrolled in kindergarten, he would be allowed to participate in ASP. But if we're going to choose to hold him back in pre-K, then that's our question.
Yeah.
So that would be for next year.
Yeah.
And Lyrian, correct me if I'm wrong, pre-K is still a half-day program?
It is.
Okay.
With a speech IEP, we would be able to request that Finn attends in the PM program, which would put him to school at the end of the day because there's a nursery school in Kent, the one right down the street that is now allowing
Teenagers.
participation back and forth between. Like they had shut each other off, so they weren't like letting any students go from that nursery school to the pre-K program for this year because of COVID.
Right.
They've made the decision to open that up, and so they would allow us to enroll him in the nursery school now and then have him in the PM preschool program at Kent Center School. But without after school program, it just really can't work for our family. We don't have any contacts or any family in the area. We don't have anyone else to care for our children like in those hours. So this would be, it doesn't sound like that's going to get approved. So we probably won't enroll him at KCS now. I will probably wait till September, but I figure it's an easier discussion, you know, for next year because he is kindergarten aged. So
Yeah, I think the thing that this is your note about if the child meets the requirements for kindergarten but is in pre-K, that's a factor we hadn't even thought about. So what we're trying to do is collect just different parameters and factors and questions that we should try to answer when we make this decision. And then like, what are the parameters for who comes if we extend it? How does that work? And as it stands, the after school program's a little understaffed, so it's hard for us to extend it at the present moment. But we're like trying to plan to see if we can do it for the fall.
I hope that you guys can, because there isn't very much in the town of Kent or in the surrounding area for working families. And so I know a lot of parents and a lot of families depend on it. So.
Yeah. Are there anything, like, is there anything from your perspective that you would want us to be sure we were considering or factoring in if we were extending this to pre-K?
I don't know whether or not you should extend it to pre-K. For me, I think that that's a different discussion. What I'm wondering is, because he meets the age requirement to enter kindergarten and because his big brother attends, like, would he be allowed to attend? I mean, I think in general, like as somebody who moved into this school district a year and a half ago, I was shocked at the kind of the lack of support locally for working families. We don't know anybody here, and it's really difficult to have like a dual income household with young children in this area. It's been a struggle. And so I would say just factor into the fact that, you know, there are more kids, there are more families moving into this area. Maybe the demographics have shifted. You know, maybe the community is different. I would just, with no daycare and no daycare in town, period. The school doesn't bus to any childcare facility. I mean, that's not something that I've ever experienced before, but we've moved up from New Jersey, and so things are different, you know, in other states, obviously, and I know it's very rural. But there is no other option for working parents. And it's a challenge, you know?
Yeah, particularly with everything shutting for the last 12 months.
I mean, there wasn't even anything open before anything.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't anything, like nothing exists here. You know, even the nursery school is only open till 1 p.m. every day in town. Like it's, I don't know who that serves, but it doesn't serve people at work, you know? It's great for if you're just trying to look for socialization for your children. But as far as working family is concerned, like it's not an easy place to raise a family, you know? And whatever you guys can do as the community park and rec, like to kind of support that, I think that's really valuable, at least for people like us, you know? But that's it. I just wanted to come and explain our situation, why I'm asking. That's it.
Thanks for showing up.
Anyone else have any questions or anything to say?
We got an echo.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. You're welcome to stay on the meeting. Why am I
Okay.
echoing?
I don't know. I'll probably drop off if I'm gonna finish dinner. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you. You've given us a lot to talk about.
Thank you.
I'm echoing also.
All right, so.
Hang on, Diane, have you got? Just trying to get rid of the echo
Is
here.
somebody on their phone and their computer?
Yeah, exactly.
If you're not speaking, maybe mute, and that'll potentially help us.
Yeah. All right, we need, now that Diane is here, we need to go back and
Elevate our alternate.
elevate the alternate, and I'll just put it in that we did it at the beginning. That's all right.
Who would like to make that motion?
Motion to elevate the alternate.
Second, please.
A second. Nope.
Thank you. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed? Thank you. All right.
Excuse me one second, Lynn. Diane, just so you're up to speed, I gave notice today to the Board of Selectmen and at the beginning of this meeting to the commission that I will be leaving my Park and Rec position April 2nd.
Thought you were gonna say April 1st for Fool's Day.
Oh, yeah, because you'd think then I was fooling, but I'm not.
See, she's speechless.
Yeah, I know.
So should we stay on A now and discuss this now? 'Cause I think after hearing her explanation, it's not our normal pre-K kid, you know, who is probably not potty trained in the 3-year-old department as opposed to the 5-year-old department.
My question is, why is he in pre-K if he qualifies for kindergarten?
You might have missed, but he qualifies for IEP, which I believe is something that it relates to speech. And so he's of the age, but they're
Okay,
holding him back to give him a little bit more support with speech. That's how I understood it.
Seems to me for our purposes, age matters more than where a child is placed. You know what I mean? So like
yeah, I would,
like age becomes a Department of Health issue. And I don't know what the laws are in Connecticut, but I think age, age matters. I think if he's old enough for kindergarten, I don't see why he wouldn't be able to participate in our after-school program. I don't know.
right. I mean, I was gonna say if it was an immaturity issue, then it might be a problem if we are not prepared to handle that. But if it's academics or something else, then I would think there was no reason.
So,
Yeah, I think the key thing she said was qualified. He qualifies for kindergarten. So it sounds like there's been some sort of screening that he's ready for kindergarten. They're just,
I think she
the
said-
parents are choosing to hold him back.
Yeah, he's got a speech. He's got to work on his speech
Yeah.
for a year, that whether or not he can be in a classroom with 6 and 7-year-olds, I don't think that affects what the after-school program is trying to do. You know what I mean? It might affect how he's chose to be educated and schooled and taught to read and all those good things, but I don't think it matters from a childcare perspective.
I agree.
I thought she said that his birthday was really close to the cutoff time. And I know a lot of parents who have late birthday children choose to wait a year.
right. I took that same thing, Lynn. And it may be that the commission wants to, so we could go back and I could ask her to put her request in writing. So we have it to document, and then maybe the commission just wants to make this an individual consideration and, just treat it as a specific to this family instead of a blanket across. That's one idea.
That's what I was
Sounds good.
thinking too, a case by case basis.
Yeah.
Sounds
I don't
good.
think we want to put ourselves in a position to do case by case basis.
I agree. I think you want to have a cutoff, whether it's by age or I think you're setting yourself up for problems.
Yeah, you have to experience, Kate.
But I think she makes a good case. I think she makes a great case. I just, but I feel like having age cutoffs they're there for a reason. I hope that in her case, her child would qualify, next year.
Leslie, is there anything in our ASP policy or rules that talks about this child's school year as opposed to age or?
God, it's been a little bit since I looked at it. I think one place it says kindergarten. I think it mostly says kindergarten, but it might say age.
5, 6.
It might not be consistent is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'll go back and look at what the handbook says.
And if it's not consistent, then that gives us an opportunity
Change it.
to update it.
Yes, right.
Anything else we want to discuss on that subject now?
So we'll keep it on the agenda.
Yes.
So
Okay.
I just want to, just for the sake of her as a person, is there any decision we're making on the behalf of this case? Is there criteria that we have now that we want to update? And can we update it between now and the next meeting? I'm just thinking about a month and if there's anything we could do to move forward.
Well, it's not going to happen this year. We got to wait and see what we find in the paperwork, right? To know what we have to fix or change,
Yeah, so
or if it needs to be fixed or changed.
I can email that out to you tomorrow.
Cool. And then the agenda is looking to update the language.
Yeah. So, and you'll still have to figure out, if you want to change the policy or not.
Can we all get a copy of the policy for now?
Yeah, I'll send you the handbook.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hi, Jean.
Hi, all.
Hi.
Sorry, I'm backing up 3 deep on meetings here.
So,
All right, we're good on there.
yep. Did you want to take a minute now to speak with Jean while she's here?
Do you want to speak to us now, Jean, or would you like to speak tomorrow? Leslie's already filled us in.
They were so excited about my news.
Yeah, can you tell?
Yeah, I was just here to answer any questions you might have as far as process or, any general questions about Leslie's news, which I'm happy for Leslie, and she and I had a long conversation about this. I'm happy for her. She's devoted, a crazy amount of time and commitment in the last 22, 23 something years.
22.
So it's big shoes to fill. And we're all, I'm as a parent and as a, chief elected official, very grateful for all of that commitment that she has made over the years.
Jean, I did not share any of the reasons behind, because I didn't want to do that in a public
Sure.
meeting. People think that
Sure.
was- Yeah,
Sure.
just so you know.
Thanks. I appreciate that. And again, I'm sorry I'm late.
That's okay.
Just-
What we did discuss, Jean, was obviously before you were in the meeting that tomorrow, if I didn't hear from you, that I would reach out to you and we would go from there and probably schedule a special meeting depending on what you and I discussed.
Okay.
But
Sounds good.
if anybody has, since you're here, if anybody wants to change that, feel free, or we can just continue on with that.
Yeah, I guess I just would note that it would be beneficial to the commission to have an exit interview of some sort with Leslie, so we could understand how we've worked with her and where our blind spots were and how we could be, of better service or equally great service to the next director. And if you wouldn't mind sharing with us high-level next steps, just so we have a sense of it, since we're all here together, that would be great.
Sure. I want to go back and look at the policy manual. There's a policy in place for the board so I need to notify the board, which we already have via email, and we'll have a deeper conversation. So maybe Lynn and or other commission members want to pencil in the April meeting, which would be April 13th, it looks like. They start at 6:30, and we'll put up a link with the agenda. But just to have any discussion or conversation that Lynn and I or any of the members don't want to haven't addressed already. So I need to notify the rest of the board, and we'll need to put together a search committee. And I do have to check your bylaws to see if there's anything that's different from the policy manual, which I did not get a chance to do this afternoon. So Lynn, if you want to shoot me an email with some times tomorrow, maybe give me the morning to do a little bit more homework so I can have a more cogent conversation and answer more questions.
I'm actually gone all day tomorrow. I was just thinking about
Oh,
that.
okay.
I won't be back till like 3 o'clock, so I can
Okay.
call you around then. Okay.
Yeah, whenever. I don't want to jinx myself by saying that I don't have too much going on tomorrow. But I think I probably just did that by saying that. Let me just quickly look at the calendar.
I'll leave my number and I'll be home in the evening and you can call me whenever you're ready if
Okay.
you're not available then.
Okay. Yeah, later
so-
is better actually,
Okay.
tomorrow.
Is it fair for us to operate under the assumption that we'll be running without a director for at least 4 weeks after Leslie leaves?
Ed comes in.
Oh, okay. So there is
Ed
somebody, there's an interim, there's a plan for an interim.
Ed's gonna be
Director.
working at ASC.
Is that true? Is that, I'm just curious.
I don't think that's true.
Is that
But
happening?
No, we used to have Jeff Parkin, and he would oversee it. So that would be Ed's position.
Oh,
yeah, I'll have to, again, I don't want to speak without looking at both the policy and your bylaws. So I'll have more for you tomorrow, Lynn, for sure.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sure.
Any more questions for Jean? All right. Thank you, Jean.
Sure.
All right, we'll move on to parks and the seasonal worker. I saw in the budget that they just moved the line item to a different line item, so
We
I don't think that
still
was
have
a
the money, got
big
the
deal.
money, so.
Yeah, exactly. And the 2%
That's great
increase went
news.
across the board, so, yep.
I'd like to tackle one thing here, though. I'd like to see that we put a plaque up for John Lindsay on the bench there next to the tennis courts in honor of him. In memory of the guardian of our parks, rest in peace, John Lindsay. Is everybody in favor of that?
100%. We had a long talk about that last time.
Do you want to, do we need a motion for that? And, or we wait till John gets us a cost, or how does that work?
I think you can make a motion and then I could reach out to Crown Trophy in Brookfield where we usually get our stuff and get a price, get that started.
Everybody good with the saying? And
Yep.
You want me to read it to you again?
yes,
Yep.
please, with a motion, make it into a motion.
Make a motion that we, in honor of John Lindsay's commitment to the parks, I think that we should put up a plaque at the tennis courts there for him at this bench where he used to sit. And the plaque should read, "In memory of the guardian of our parks, rest in peace, John Lindsay."
That's nice.
Can I have a second for that, please?
Second,
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
John, are you thinking rest in peace is spelled out or is it just RIP?
It's whatever room you have, you know,
Okay.
I mean, if you need more money,
Spell
I
it out
can.
if you can.
Let's
But rest in-
let's spell it out if we can.
Spell it
It's
out.
a
Yeah, I
little
would.
Okay.
macabre.
Is
Okay.
it just a thought, maybe putting in memoriam? Usually RIP, rest in peace, is done not like on a headstone. Just a thought.
Well, the reason I was saying rest in peace because he was so active, so maybe now he can take a rest.
Sure.
how about rest in peace if you can? Just kidding.
Oh. All right. So I can get a mock-up of that before we have it made
Okay.
and share that.
If you need any more money, I can donate something.
No, we can handle that. I don't think it's going to be that costly.
In memory of the guardian of our park, John Lindsay, with his, you put his dates on there, or is that not appropriate in this case?
I think the simpler the better.
Yeah. All right. You get that. See what it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, the seasonal worker, were you able to speak to anybody else? Were you gonna speak to the other parks about that?
We have a meeting actually this week on Wednesday, so we still have a little bit of time on that. So I'll have more details on Wednesday.
Okay. Anything else on there?
Yeah, hang on a
John?
second. I got a whole
Yep.
bunch of, even though I'm
Okay.
stuck in the house here for a while, I was able to send out some scouts. All right, so this is the time when we usually do the risk assessments on the parks.
Mm-hmm.
So, but apparently Rick Osborne is now the new tree warden. So I would send a letter to Rick asking him if he would assess the parks, the trees in the parks to see if they need to be trimmed, whatever they have to be done.
Okay.
And that after he's done, he puts it in writing so that we may put it into action through bid process, if
Okay.
necessary.
Hey, John, where did you hear that Rick's the new tree warden?
Well, the owner of the Kent Greenhouse is not there anymore, so Rick took over.
And and who's, I was just wondering who told you that Rick took over?
Well, I'm assuming he did it before. I'm assuming he's going to do it again.
I'm sorry, I guess I'm confused. He did it before when?
Well, he would take the action first, because the owner of the previous Kent greenhouse was never around.
Okay, I still don't know where you had heard that that Rick was appointed as the tree warden.
Well, he took over the position after the owner of the greenhouse left. I'm assuming he still has that position.
Okay, I'll have to get back to you all.
Did you appoint anybody?
I didn't unappoint Bruce Bennett.
Well, I mean, he's out
That's
of
why I'm confused.
Yeah, he's out of town.
No, I understand. I know that. We've spoken a number of times because he's looking into a number of things. I just didn't know where you had heard that he was no longer the tree warden.
Well, when Rick took it over, I mean, Rick was doing the work. I mean, assuming he took it over, so.
Well, Rick, as the DPW, he handles tree, various tree work along the roadways, but that's different from being the tree warden.
Although, well, I have seen him mark some of the trees Bruce did along the roadways, but that's neither here nor there.
Okay, as far as I know, Bruce Bennett is still the tree warden.
Okay.
I'll loop back around with you all, but I hadn't heard there was any change.
But he's an out-of-town resident, correct?
I don't know if he lives in town anymore. I don't think that's a requirement for the position,
Okay.
but I can check back.
Okay, moving on. I've got a couple people called since I've been home. They want to know when they're going to fix the culvert over at Commons Park. I know this was on his schedule, Rick's schedule, and haven't seen anything done yet, and it's getting to be really hazardous over there. I just want the commission to know that.
I've observed that as well.
Yeah, I mean,
We've
action
been
should
there
be
a lot
taken right
lately.
away. Yeah, action should be
Yeah,
taken
let's-
right away. We can't wait. This is a disaster waiting to happen.
I second that. It looks, from a layperson's perspective, looks quite dangerous, and don't feel terribly comfortable driving my car over it.
Exactly.
So I can speak to Rick tomorrow to see what his timetable is. If you'd like me to do that.
Yes, please. And also too, while he's at it, you might as well go over to Emery Park as well, because the bridge that crosses over to the backfield, it's the same situation. It's all washed out. And that culvert has to be replaced.
But if we were prioritizing one over the other, would we be prioritizing Kent Common over Emery?
Yes,
Okay.
but I would also try and get the other one done as soon as possible too. Because people are going to get out there and do some exercise and some trailblazing.
Anything else, John?
Let me just go through my list. Hang on a second.
Sure.
Oh, that's it for now. Oh,
Great.
oh yeah, we're gonna need, Leslie, you should also check with Rick too, because we were using the vinegar because we couldn't use the Roundup.
Right.
So we might need a refill on that big container of vinegar that we have in the garage there.
Okay. So I'll ask him to check the status of that.
Yes, please. It has to be applied 3 times a year, and it's a safe compared to Roundup or any other name that it goes under now, Roundup.
Right. Okay, got it.
Good, John?
Yeah, I'm good for now.
Okay. We'll move on to the Parks Master Plan. Anything to report there?
Abby,
No?
I
Abby,
don't have anything. I don't have anything to report. Well, no, I think something that we wanted to do is put together a new set of questions to submit to the town around the pool and making decisions about that.
Yeah.
So I think that there's a pre-process of putting together a questionnaire for the town that could inform the master plan. So somehow, someday,
Yeah, so
I'll find time to write those questions.
we could send that out to the commissioners like we did for the concert. So
And also the town has a paid for Survey Monkey account. So if you wanted to push the questions out in a Survey Monkey, we can certainly help with that.
Great, thanks. I think I'm hoping it's gonna be a little bit more open fields, but we have to see what the questions are.
can we allocate some funding for the drainage over at Commons Parks? Abigail?
When you say allocate funds for drainage, could
Well-
you unpack that a little bit?
Well, apparently we have extra money over in the Emery Park, and we could switch it over to a different account for a Commons Park. Is that right, Leslie?
are you talking about the capital money?
Yes, yep.
Yeah, we can't just switch it. You have to request that of the Board of Finance, and then it has to go to a town vote.
Okay. I mean, the sooner the better we can get the drainage, and that's at least the basis for moving forward.
So yeah, we would need some detailed, we'd still have to go out to bid, but we would need somebody to come in and give us what needs to be done and an estimated cost, so we know what to ask for.
Yeah, and quite frankly, I might be overthinking drainage in the park, but based on what I've learned as a landscape architect is we could be designing the park to deal with the drainage. So you can incorporate it into the landscape, or you could be a civil engineer and just try to divert it. So without understanding the problem, and I'm not a licensed landscape architect, but there could be a way that we're creating a swale. Like there's options of how you can deal with drainage. And I think until we understand what those are, it's hard to make a decision of how much it would cost. And I know maybe I'm overthinking it, and I tend to do that for the Parks and Rec, so don't want to do that either.
Anyone else for this? We need to make any decisions now, or we have to wait till Leslie talks to Rick and see what's next?
He's got a honey-do list.
Okay. All right, so we'll move on to sports program, baseball status.
I think we skipped 5-year plan.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have notes next to it. I guess I wrote them in the wrong spot. Yes, 5-year capital plan.
So just a reminder going forward that the commission every month should try to keep this on the agenda, keep the conversation going about whatever comes out of the master plan that you want to do, and recognize that it's going to take at least 5 years to go across that plan. And those requests usually go out in mid to late November.
Okay. Anyone else have anything on the capital plan? We'll have to at some point discuss switching those funds over once we see what, probably next month. I don't even know. All right, now to baseball.
Yep, so we have we've had 2 rec directors meetings. We're having another one this Wednesday, which hopefully will be our decision-making one. Most of the Region 1 towns, selectmen and or school principals have asked the rec department not to have the traditional baseball program in the spring, but to wait toward early June, right before school's getting out or right as school's getting out. So then we could have games and play, the towns could play each other. Because right now they're trying to keep all the schools separated. It's why they haven't been doing middle school sports. So I don't know if the commission has any thoughts about that.
Would this be something where they're traveling from town to town?
Yes.
Okay,
So our little league and our minor league for 2nd and 3rd graders.
and as it stands right now, do they have to get tested?
No,
Okay, how about temperature?
I don't believe so, John. And some of the rules are changing. Yeah,
I'm just going over it, because, yeah, right, you're right. The rules change every minute, so it's.
right. Yeah.
Okay. So we can also bring this tomorrow.
Is there any an option for doing something just within the town?
If you want.
I know
to.
it's
think we have
not
enough.
what it doesn't meet the vision of what it normally is, but if there's something that we could be doing for the kids just in our immediate town.
That is an option that you could pursue if you want to have something just within the town. We just need to go back and double check what the current rules are.
I think we have enough kids to do that. They'd be playing each other, even if we could get 2 teams.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna do something now, it pretty much would just be skills and drills.
Which might be something, and something might be better than nothing.
Yeah, get some out, get some fresh air.
Are you talking instead of this one in June or possibly in June or in addition to?
If the restrictions prohibit us from offering something in June, then maybe there's an alternative that we can offer
Gotcha.
to the town.
Okay, misunderstood, sorry. Agree. And we'll know more after your meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else on that from anyone? Okay, on to the budget monthly report, which I don't think we have.
No, we haven't received a monthly budget report.
Okay. Budget proposal for next year.
So I just wanted to let you know that as we've already said, the maintenance line money just got moved from out of hourly to the maintenance line. But other than that, the Board of Selectmen has approved its budget proposal, and that is going to the Board of Finance on Wednesday evening. And I think I also told you too, the salary increase is 2%.
For town employees across the board?
Yes.
Way to go, Town of Kent.
All right. Anything else? We good there?
Lynn, I don't know
Easter
if you
event
wanted
yeah.
any background or supplemental on the the move for the maintenance out of the payroll. I'm just sort of a broad term, the payroll line. There was, and I actually, I'm just total transparency. I brought up a little bit of concern about being able to, anytime you add a staff member to a department, they need somewhere, there's a line of supervision. So that person would need to have a supervisor. Obviously, the Park and Rec director would need to be the supervisor. And having a worker who is likely working out, in the park, on the trails, there was concern from the board as far as being able to appropriately supervise that person. And also with the type of work would come supplies and equipment that weren't built into the budget. So the board moved it over to the other category for this year to recommend, in that recommending hiring a contracted worker who would have the bonding and have the insurance and the equipment and supplies that would come with tree maintenance, trail maintenance, that sort of thing. And have this be sort of a trial year of what's that position really truly going to look like before we bring it in-house, and what are the hours really going to look like, so that we can get a better feel for what that position may look like to then, for the following year, bring that person on board and have them be a, whether it's a per diem, seasonal, however it fleshed out. So have this sort of act as an interim year to understand what your needs are.
I think a lot of that we had already discussed this, and we were waiting for Leslie to talk to the other Park and Rec directors to see if they had a lead on someone basically that fit what you just said. Someone that wouldn't necessarily, not a young employee, not to say young, or, an employee that would need constant supervision, or, could only work with somebody else or whatever. It was more of, like you said, not necessarily, I think the difference that we didn't discuss was a subcontracted person as opposed to an employee, but the credentials that you listed were basically the same as what we discussed. So
Okay.
that's fine. I don't have a problem with it being moved to the line. I mean, the only difference really is being they're a subcontractor as opposed to an employee.
Yeah,
Right.
and your funding will run out faster.
And then we, that's sort of the part of what we would need to look at, but outfitting a part-time employee that we're not really sure how much equipment they're going to need, how much supplies they're going to need, those other details, I think, just sort of set us to move that into the other line.
No, that's impossible. 1 year trial period. That's good.
So just wanted
Anyone
to
else
sort
have
of
any
fill in the
questions?
gap.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Sure.
All right. Anyone else have a comment or question on what Jean said? Okay. We'll move to the Easter event update.
Diane.
I am sorry. I was not at the last meeting, but I know that the flyer was made and it's on the website, and I think it looks great. Have we announced it anywhere besides putting it on the website and word of mouth?
I got it through the KCS. They do a.
Oh, they did do it. Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Now that I'm
I
part
got-
of
I got
KCS, I'm
emailed about it.
informed.
I was going to ask, is it okay if I put it on the community Facebook page? Because unless somebody did already, I've been looking for it. I didn't see it.
I don't think it's been shared there yet.
Okay, I'll share it there tonight.
And I can also connect the constant contact out to social media, so I can do that in addition.
That's great. I didn't know, Julie's not here tonight. I don't know if she's gotten any submissions yet. I was curious because I think the submissions have to be in by the 20th.
Yeah, we talked toward the end of last week, she hadn't gotten anything. But that was before it went out to the school. So that might have been Thursday we talked, so. But I'll touch base with her again this week to see.
Can I ask a quick technical question about the voting process? If that's okay.
Sure.
So the flyer said that it would be, the images would be available through a Gmail, but I wasn't sure like how specifically is any member of the community going to access? Is it going to be like a folder on Google Drive? Or is it going to be, I wasn't sure like the pathway to make it publicly available, because there's a lot of hiccups along the way with working in a Google environment if you don't have a Gmail address or at least a log on to the Google environment. So it's just from a little bit of a technical standpoint.
If it went out as a questionnaire, it could go to anybody, even though it's developed as a Google form. And in that you could put pictures, but I'm not privy to how the voting's happening.
Julia's doing that. My understanding is that you don't have to have a Gmail account to do it. You'll just click the link. And I know that I've done pictures and I've shared pictures in albums on Google, and you don't have to have a Google account to view them. If I send the link to someone, they can view the pictures. So I'm assuming she did something where you don't have to have an account. But that's a good question.
If you want to talk, if you need advice or troubleshooting on that, by all means, let me know, because it's I do it on a daily basis. So I'd be happy to share best practices.
Thank you.
All I can say is Google can be inconsistent.
Yeah, completely.
Believe it or not.
Yeah, I work for clients and within town of Kent government, within the fire department, and for my own clients that I build websites for. That's probably the best word for it. And I just want to make sure that you guys can have, a successful program. And so is it in Google? Are you going to make a folder in Google Drive available, and they'll be numbered, and then you use the Google form to submit your votes?
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, I'm not sure exactly how she did it, but she sort of showed us kind of like a prototype of what she was going to do. And what you would do is there'd be whatever it was, 5 different categories, and then you pick one in each category. So you're voting for each age group.
Mm-hmm.
But I can ask her more specifically.
Just as long as you guys have the details worked out.
Right. That's a good question. I'll talk to her about that, because if not, we have only a few days left to figure it out.
Yeah. And there are a couple of ways, we could do it through SurveyMonkey, because you can use images. You can put images in SurveyMonkey. You'd have to upload them and add them, to each age group. But I don't want to, muck up your works if you guys have it all figured out. But I did want to just ask the technical question, because when I read the flyer, I was like, this doesn't quite, I felt like there was the loop wasn't quite closed. But I trust that if you guys have it worked out, you have it worked out.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much experience Julia has with that. She seemed like she was pretty confident in knowing what she was doing, but I don't know, Lynn, do you Kate, do you remember how she was specifically? Yeah, I don't. I'll send her an email and ask her.
Okay.
Make sure it's worked out.
And if you need if you find that you want to, move over to SurveyMonkey, we can try to spin something up with a quick turnaround.
Thank you. Yeah,
Sure.
thank you. I'll find out and we'll let you know.
Okay.
Anything more on the Easter event now?
The only thing I just want to quick say, I'm sorry, like I said, I missed the last subcommittee meeting. I have the baskets to be put together. Leslie, I think you said you wanted to have them end up at town hall because that would be the easiest.
Yes, we talked about that.
And you would add the gift certificates to them. So, I mean, I could drop them off
Okay.
at some point. And I have the cellophane that goes around them and the ribbons for the top and everything. You would just have to, put the gift certificates in and put them in the bag and put the ribbon on. And then you could have them down there for the winners.
Yeah, so just let me know, Diane, when you're gonna come to town hall, so.
Sure, I'll send you an email. The only thing I have left to do is I want to spray paint I have these little wooden crates that I'm using as baskets.
Okay.
And I just want to spray paint them.
Yep.
I'm just waiting for a warm enough day, and the one warm enough day we had, or the two warm days I was tied up, I didn't get a chance to do it.
Yeah, and if you wanted, I could go get those gift certificates and get them to you. So,
Oh, you want to get, if you wanted to, if you'd rather I take the gift certificates, put the baskets together and then drop the baskets off,
yeah, we could do that.
we can do that. Yep, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay. So, yeah, well, check with Jill, I'll check with.
Just let me, I can pick them up too at the town hall. Just let me know when.
Okay,
Thank you.
I just want to make sure that we have entries before we're buying gift certificates.
Yeah, I know. I didn't, I guess, well, the kids got it at Kent Central School, so
I mean, it's
hopefully.
going out a lot of places, so.
I
The
do
Kent
see,
Center
I do
School
see-
one came out on Friday,
Yes.
so.
I did see a lot
Yeah.
of rocks dug up in the Commons Park. I don't know if it was a coincidence. There was
Oh.
there had to be about 15 small stones right on the path. I was like, ooh, it's a good thing John's home right now recovering. I got to get those cleaned up. And then I thought, well, maybe the kids dug them up for the rock contest, so maybe I should leave them for a couple days.
Yeah.
One of your neighbors is a rock lady.
Oh, in Templeton?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I have some myself. I have some nice decorative rocks that I put in the baskets. So I'm actually on the community page. Maybe I'll say if anybody wants, maybe I'll leave some under the pavilion or something in the commons. If someone wants to come and pick one up if they don't want to go hunting for one. But I'll do that tonight. I'll put a post on the community page.
Perfect. Anything else on the Easter event?
No, and then
Removed?
all the other,
Sorry.
all the other stuff is at the office. For the bags we're gonna put together for anybody that submits an entry.
Okay.
And if we don't go through it all, there's a lot of stuff there that's not perishable that could be used next year.
Okay. Right. So we'll move on to the concert series.
Yep, so thank you, Michael, for sending this out, and to those of you who responded, I shared with you today the latest results of what feedback was about the summer concert series. So I just have this in front of me. Of course, can you read the questions? No, you can't. I'm serious. Not really helping. So the first one, oh, I guess the first one was, did we want to work with the land trust again?
Yes.
And it seemed, pretty much everybody here said that that was a good thing. So we want to work with the land trust, and I have already spoken with them, and they're already good with that. Oh, and then,
Leslie, would it be helpful if I share my screen and so everybody
Yeah.
can see it?
yeah, I don't know why the questions didn't print out, but the answers did. And I didn't look at that clearly or
I'll
easy.
zoom in to try to give you guys a little better.
That's right. Okay, so yes, we would partner with the land trust.
Sorry. Yep, it looks like we had consensus on that.
Yep.
And the next one.
Oh, that's right. How should this partnership be structured financially?
It seemed like this one had the most questions and not necessarily
Yeah.
specific consensus.
So pre-COVID, we asked the businesses or community groups in town if they wanted to sponsor one of the days, and we did have some people, so it's $500, and we did have some people who could only give $250, which was great. You know, we still put their names out there and stuff. So we you know, there could be money in the budget because there was last year. So out of the fee programs line. And then I guess, so basically, you know, what is the land trust paying for? What is Park and Rec paying for it? I think that should just be clearly defined.
And do we know what the things are that need to be paid for?
So we have to pay for the band, we have to pay for the electricity, the mowing, and I don't know, I guess we'll have to put down the designated parking spaces again.
I think she took care of the cutting of the grass twice.
Yeah, we paid for some of the bands, we paid an electric bill, paid for paint. They paid for one of the bands.
Right.
So we may just need to get together with the land trust now that we're agreed we're going to move forward with them, and just have a discussion and get it in writing about who's paying for what.
I think it's a great
Sounds like
spot.
a good
I mean,
plan.
it's a great spot considering what's going on right now. So, I mean, I would stick with it.
So the next question is, John, should we hold a town hall or land trust field? And I think that there's I don't think there's consensus here.
Yeah, and I don't know what, you know, I think numbers have opened up, but I'm not 100% sure what July, late June is going to look like as far as COVID goes. And, you know, distancing of people.
I mean, it worked out fine last year. I don't see why we can't do it again, just in case we have to go down that COVID routine again.
So have it at the land trust field one more time.
Yeah, I
And
would.
then
I mean, we got at least 50 cars in 3 times out of all those concerts, so that was pretty good.
Yeah, and I would like to believe that this year we'll be able to get more.
Right.
Yeah, and we'll just have to come up with a weather policy because I don't know when town buildings are opening, so.
Right. I stay, stick with the land trust field for now.
Agree.
Yeah,
Only thing is, we need a couple more reps from the commission, Park and Rec.
So need more volunteers, have it at the land trust field. Summer or fall, it seems like there's consensus here about summer. Is
Yep.
anybody not into that idea? Thursday or Sunday? It seemed like Sundays,
Thursday.
most people are favoring Thursday.
Personally,
Anybody want to speak on behalf of Sunday?
I'll just say personally, a Thursday evening, because there's no shade down there, is probably going to be cooler than Sunday afternoon.
Definitely in the summer.
Yeah.
You talking about Sundays in the fall?
No, I think the consensus was it's going to be a summer event.
Okay.
How many concerts? Do we want to offer 6 again? It seems like yes, but then there were 2 bands that didn't seem to draw a crowd like the others. So this also ties into the next question, I think, is did we want to offer the dates to the same bands? And there seems to be some question about 2 of the 6.
Yeah, and I not sure which 2 those are and what the reason was that people didn't come to those. I could check with Connie.
So as a person that's never been to one of these concerts, although sometimes I can hear the music from my house, which is nice. What kind of music do you usually get?
We have some country, we have some blues.
Okay, so you do a mix.
Yeah, we do a mix. That's a
Is
good
there
one.
is there a particular type of music that draws more people?
I think the bands draw.
The people.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the bands have fans, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hang on a
Go ahead.
second. Just real quick. I think you'd have to go back and ask Connie about cutting the grass during the summer months.
Yes. Well, we did cut it.
We cut it in the fall.
We
I
had
think
it. No, we had it cut in the summer because we did the first concert there.
Okay. But I know they use that to feed the pasture down the road.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will we be soliciting business and community organizations to be sponsors?
Do you guys have audio? can't
Yes,
hear
I do.
anything.
I'm just
Oh.
muting because I'm doing the dishes.
No, okay. So everyone.
yeah, I mean, I guess that when it gets closer to the time, if somebody wants to kind of gauge, go around and talk to the people, but I don't know that the businesses can afford to sponsor, so that's my personal impression.
Yeah, I mean, maybe some would see it as an opportunity because it's happening close to their business potentially, but more likely than not, people are strained. So
Yeah, and I think you'd have to sort of flesh out what is a sponsorship get a business. I would imagine generally sponsorships come with, we'll advertise in a booklet or on our website. I think maybe fleshing that out might change people's minds. This was a survey sent to residents.
No, this
No,
was.
this is a tool for us to be able to make decisions when we're together. So this is just the commission responding to these questions.
Oh, okay, got it.
yeah, I mean, if there's an example of a sponsorship that worked well, might be helpful to look at.
Would it be worth just asking the Chamber of Commerce what their feedback would be, what their reaction to that would be?
It's a good idea.
It might be a great way to engage them. And I've seen in other events that I've been involved with in other ways where you have an on-site event that's local to a community, and a local restaurant might provide sponsorship where they get people to come in for a box dinner or a box lunch. This happened to be a golf tournament. So they were getting sponsorship on the golf tournament's website, and it was driving people to their restaurant. So thinking along the lines of engaging the chamber in sort of those, maybe not traditional, you pay us and we'll give you an ad, but a little bit different that might help the, drive business directly to those restaurants and shops, for instance.
So we'll come up with some different ways to sponsor and see what the interest is. Yes, does that work?
That sounds good to me.
Super. I'm
Could we
glad we
ask the
got a little.
community also if there's an individual that wants to sponsor a band, or is that not such a good idea?
Yeah, an individual could sponsor, or if they want to do the whole $500, we'll take whatever. That's, we've been lucky in the past that, like the Lions Club was able to give $500, and
Right.
Marvelwood gave some money one year, and so yeah, it doesn't have to be, we don't match a sponsor to a band. They're just sponsoring the series.
Right.
And $500, should we continue Seems like most say yes, and then there's a potentially cutting it to 350.
Mhm.
I think if they're still willing to come for 500, that works. That's, forget what number year this is, but, that's what we've been paying.
Yeah, it seems like a lot for them to come out with all that equipment and everything.
And gas is going up again.
Right.
I think if there's a precedent that's worked, we should probably just keep it. Great job, everybody.
Thanks for sharing that, Abigail.
Yeah.
So I'll get back in touch with the land trust with Connie. And then I can also start to reach out to the band.
Do you usually contact businesses and ask them if they're willing, if they're interested in, like, how do you usually approach them?
A commission member went around town and asked people.
Okay. That
Diane,
probably.
we had a
Go
amazing
ahead.
commission member who was all over getting sponsorships for this, and she moved out of town. So we have a little bit of a gap, a fundraising gap, if you will.
Yeah, I imagine that probably works better than just making an announcement like on the community page saying the Land Trust and Parks and Rec are looking for sponsors for the concert series. You probably, I guess if you ask them individually, probably have a better chance of getting them to say yes, putting them on the spot.
Yeah, and just making it clear that, we'll take we're open to any contribution.
Anything else on the concert series? Okay. Am I unmuted? Yes. I am.
Yep.
We'll move on to new business with the tennis program proposal.
So Michael and I had a conversation and I sent you the points that we touched on for doing a summer tennis clinic for beginners. Michael's very willing to donate his time, which is great. Julia is available to help. Julia also has potential contact for getting rackets donated for people who don't have them.
That sounds like a real good program. What about the balls?
Yeah, we would need to buy balls. They have, for the
Practice.
younger ones, they have like a softer version of the ball.
Right.
And then we'd want regular tennis balls as well. But I think we could probably buy enough balls for the camp I think the balls would probably be like under $100 total. And then Leslie had said that we might have a basket already. We would just need a basket per court. So I don't think it wouldn't be much outlay. And we were thinking about like a small, maybe like $10 sign up fee just to keep people, tied to it. And then the question was, would they need to have their Parks and Rec pass as well to enroll? So I don't know if anyone has thought about that at all.
I think they should have a Park and Rec pass because particularly if they want to go and practice on their own with their parents or their friends. And I don't know, it just sort of encourages them. People should be getting those, I think. There's a lot of people, I think, that use those courts that don't have them.
Yes, you're right. And also too, there was a gentleman for the last year or so that's been giving lessons over there.
Right.
I don't know who that was. Maybe the other thing too is to get some sort of an electronic key to open the gate. That would be a keep card pass of some sort. Yeah, I've seen women walk their dogs in the tennis court area and chase them out, but it's up to you guys. I mean, and then what days of the week? What days of the week would you be doing this, Mike, and what times?
We were thinking 2 days a week, so maybe a Tuesday, Thursday, mid-morning. And Julia had indicated that her schedule opens up after July 4th. So it would be great to have a second person there. So I'd be open to doing it, starting second week July. And again, maybe like a 10 a.m. time, 2 days a week for an hour for 2 to 4 weeks, something like that.
So just to clarify, you and Julia would be the coaches?
Correct. Yeah.
Cool. That's
One
awesome.
person on each court.
Yeah.
We were hoping to get, I think up to 15 would be good. Any more than that, probably, diminishing returns, but I have no idea at that age, like between 5 and 10, how many kids are even in the town, but we'll see.
That's
Tennis
really-
seems to be popular among the young kids.
So, and we'll have some funding for supplies. It seems like the supplies are basically limited to tennis balls, since it sounds like we have a basket, and we might be able to get rackets donated.
Mhm.
And is there a question of whether or not to enroll in the program, you buy a park pass and pay a small fee?
Yeah, and maybe even the fee could go towards a park pass. Because the fee was more, Leslie was thinking the fee was like to keep people from just skipping it if they signed up and there was no fee.
Yeah, people don't show up for things that are free.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and if they have to buy a park pass too, I would say just have them say they have to buy a park pass.
Yeah. That's what I was just thinking as you're talking.
And if for some reason it's going to be a hardship for them, then I don't know if we can.
We can take care of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that can be kind of somehow, that message can be.
So if there's anyone like that, they may reach out to the social services director. We collaborate on those kinds of things. Or if I hear of somebody, and sometimes people are good about just calling and saying, hey, we'd really like to do this, but it's out of our, beyond our budget. So we see if they can contribute anything, or if they can't, we're happy to have that if there's room for them.
Are you
So-
going to send some kind of flyer to the Kent school or this Kent Central School?
Kent Center School, yes, it would go out through as long as they're willing to send that out.
Maybe you could, I don't know, maybe you could say something on that, on the flyer. How much is a pass now? Is it $60?
It's still 35.
It's only 35. What was something? Oh, the transfer station, I think, was 60. That's in my head. Yeah, that's not a lot, I don't think. That's
Yeah.
reasonable.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, if you think about what you get with that, it's a steal.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But just in general, even just for the pass to be able to use the tennis courts, if you play tennis regularly, that's a bargain.
Mhm. And that may be something, we haven't raised that in a long time, so that might be something you would look at for another year if things are going better. for
How
people.
long has it been $30 for a while?
Yeah,
Mhm.
35, yes. I
35.
think it might have been a little bit less at some
It went
point.
up $5, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Leslie, do you have any idea how many people buy passes a year? I'm just curious.
Yes, I'd have to go back and see, but you know, we didn't have the ice skating. That's our big draw for park passes. That's where we usually get our influx. Fewer people for Emery Park, and you know, tennis is more than Emery Park. So
Anything else on that? Do we need to make a motion to accept this proposal? Jeff?
The only thing I would just say is that, Mike, you're gonna put up some signs and tell them when you're gonna do this, right? And the
Yeah, that
hours,
was another thing we talked about. Yeah, we would make sure that the courts would be clear.
Right. and
Definitely.
how about anybody giving any thought to any key lock system for the tennis courts? Yes, no?
I think we should put something on there anyway, not just. I don't know. I don't know how you get the code to everybody.
Yeah, I think that we had discussed it at one point and just said signage is super critical, but locking, I don't think we came up with a
A solution, yeah.
solution that works yet.
Sure, there's some sort of key card system that would work.
Yes,
On-
but I think
on
that then you need electricity for it and
Oh, no,
or
you can use it on
batteries
batteries.
or
There's some
Yeah.
systems that work on batteries.
I
Yeah,
think
if you're gonna have a key card system, you'd need, it's
Well,
talking
it has
to,
a memory stick with it.
it's talking to a database, and that database would have to be updated, like the one that's at the firehouse. There's a database that gets updated and people's key cards get turned on and off. And so you'd likely need internet access. Or
What
at
about
least some
code?
sort of,
Would a code work, like a code lock, something like that?
the code is only as good as the people who keep it secure.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's true, but
There are definitely solutions, absolutely 100% solutions. I think it might be a long, a budget conversation for 22, 23. Is that we're not the coming up budget, because it would be a fair expense to get it set up, but it's doable.
But you might recover all that money from people being forced to buy park passes to use the tennis courts. It would be interesting to figure that out, how many people
Yeah.
actually use them and are paying for a
Absolutely.
pass.
Maybe that's an extra rider or something on the park pass. And then only those people get the code, not everyone who has a park pass.
You could do individual codes too. Everyone, I think that's how they do it at the fire department. Everybody has their own code. And that way
I'm
they all
reflecting on
going.
in Brooklyn, all the tennis courts were open and you had to sign up for specific times. I can't remember who it was, and you had to have some sort of card that said that you paid a fee for access to the tennis courts, but they were all public. None of them were locked. And there was a sheet that was put out every day that said who had what time slots.
Something like that.
But then when they're not reserved, you can teach your kid how to ride a bike there. You could learn how to dribble basketball. You could do something else there. It wasn't locked. and only could be used for tennis.
So right now, we're on the tennis program proposal. So,
Make a motion, we move forward with it.
I
thank
second
you,
that.
John. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Any opposed? We all good? Thank you. Motion carries. We'll move on to summer programs discussion.
I got a couple of emails today while I was working on after-school program about some new updates from the governor's office, and I haven't had time to look at those yet. So, but it sounds like they've increased the number of people that could be allowed at camp to 20, but it didn't talk anything about social distancing or any of those kind of things. So I have to look at that more in depth tomorrow. Because obviously if we're going to do camp and stuff, we need to start recruiting staff. So, so I'll read all that tomorrow, and then I could send you out a synopsis of what that says.
Okey-doke. Anybody have any questions on that? All right, we'll move down to virtual preschool sports proposal.
So I got an email about this, and I've asked the person to give me specific proposals so the commission could look at it, but she never got back to me. So I'll email her again to see if there's still interest. This is the Kent School mom that did the preschool basketball before
Okay.
at Kent School. So yeah, so I'll reach out again to see if they're still interested or if they're just going to do something on their own.
All right. Anybody have any questions or anything they wanted to say before we adjourn?
Just want to say
Okay.
thanks again to Michael for putting together the questions and
And
sending that out so we could
And thank
run
you.
through those.
Yes, and thank you for doing the tennis.
You're welcome. No problem.
That as well.
I don't hear the baby crying.
Lynn, can I ask one question?
No,
Everybody, I don't,
I'm sorry, Ed, just kidding.
Bruce Bennett is the tree warden,
Okay,
Mhm.
just so you know that. There was
Okay.
a box culvert design done for the common park back in 2001, and it never got done. That was gonna be done by the highway crew, and they've never done it, and I don't understand why. And also, the highway crew used to devote a lot of time at Emery Park, cleaning it up and doing things. I don't understand why they all of a sudden abandoned helping out. And I think the Park and Rec Committee should really look into that. And I think that they ought to really consider why it's taken so long for people to look at washouts and stuff down there. Not the committee, but I think since it is a town function, I
On
think
town on town property.
the highway supervisor be more aware of what's going on and doing this stuff. And that little bridge at the common park has been discussed for over 20 years, and it is dangerous and it is washing out. There were plans pulled for inland wetlands once or twice on it, and it never got done. And basically that's about, and just so also, I would like to thank Leslie for, we had a lot of good years together doing Park and Rec basketball, Little League, baseball. And I know Jeremy really appreciated his time doing the scoreboard and stuff. And so I would like to thank Leslie for all the help that she did during that. And that's it. Thank you.
thanks, Ed. For those of you on the commission who don't know, this is Ed Mattson. He's the third selectman, so it makes him an ex officio member of the commission. So thank you, Ed, for joining us tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, that's it.
Leslie,
And those culvert,
is this your last meeting?
Probably,
Yeah.
I'm guessing they're
oh,
probably
special meetings.
special. Yeah, yeah.
It's a big loss. So
Thank you.
much institutional knowledge.
Yeah,
I don't really know what to say. That's just, thank you, Leslie. I've only been on the committee for a very short time, but this is a huge, huge thing for the town, and thank you so much.
you're very welcome.
Done.
It's been a good ride.
Anything from anyone else? If nothing, I will adjourn this meeting at 8:50. Our next meeting is Monday, April 19th. We'll see you all there.
Night.
Bye, y'all.
Everybody, good night.
Thank you.